Good afternoon, everyone. We are live.
We are live, Facebook, YouTube, all the same. For today, no special announcement, just one small favor to ask. If you're joining the Zoom sessions, please sign up through the app. We have like 0 people signing up, but then a bunch of people joining. A little bit weird for us to keep track of which classes are popular and which are not. So please, if you join the Zoom sessions, sign up through the app. That's the only thing in terms of announcements. What are we going to do?
Today, as every Thursday, it's a strength day, so we have a lot of strength coming on, both for legs and also for upper body. So we're going to need for today several equipment, different weights preferably. So we're going to need a heavy one for the dumbbell rows, a heavy backpack, but it's easier if you have a heavy dumbbell or a heavy kettlebell, and 2 lighter ones or 1 lighter one for hammer curls that we're going to do. Also, what you're going to need something to pull yourself from. So for body rows, either a suspension trainer or a chair or a table, something that you can perform a body pull. And that's about it.
I think with that, go grab your equipment. In the meantime, we cue the music. And there we go. For the warm-up, we're going to start with the legs. We're going to start with our favorite, the world's greatest stretch. You're going to start with the feet under the hip. We're going to take a big step forward, place both hands inside the leg, drop the back knee towards the floor, not on the floor. This is our starting position. From here, if your left leg is forward, your left hand is going to rotate up towards the ceiling. The head is following. We're going to rotate up. And then we're going to rotate through the armpit as far down as we can, and that is 1 repetition. Rotate up and rotate down. Your head is following your fingers, so wherever your hands go, that's where your head goes. We're going to do 5 on the left or on the right, depending on where you started, and then we're going to switch to the other side. Simply come back into a plank, switch leg, and then do the same thing. The hands are inside the legs, so we're not leaning on the knee. And then if your right foot is forward, your left hand is on the floor, the right hand is rotating. After that, we're going to do 8 relaxed lunges, meaning we're going to step forward, bring the back knee towards the floor, and stand back up. Important, the upper body is upright, we're not collapsing forward, but we also don't want to lean back and shift the hip forward and look to the ceiling. So we're going to keep the upper body just upright as if we're standing. Good. Now, for the upper body, depending on your equipment, if you have a suspension trainer, gymnastic ring, something like this, we're going to do 2 times 5 body rows. The first 5 we're going to do with our hands in a neutral grip. The second 5 we're going to do with a biceps turn. So I'll quickly show us just 1 rep. This will be a light body row, and then we're going to turn the hands for the next 5 repetitions and do 5 of that. If you don't have a suspension trainer, you can do a bend over row. Grab your 2 light dumbbells or your backpack or anything like this. We're going to pick them up and then hinge from the hip and repeat the same pulling movement. We're going to pull the elbow behind the body, and then for the next 5 we're going to rotate the hands inward and then do the same thing from there, same biceps turn on those. So depending on your equipment, if you have a TRX, use the TRX. If you don't, use the dumbbells. You're going to go with the TRX? Yes. Good, then do your 5 and 5 so you get a good warm-up in. In any case, the work is coming from the arms and the back. Your legs are stiff, your hip is stiff, and we're just pulling that elbow behind the body. 5 in a neutral grip, and then we're going to rotate the palm upwards to get more biceps engagement, and do another 5. Very good. And then we're back to the world's greatest stretch. Take it slow. We're going to take a big step forward, the hands go inside the legs, the back knee is coming towards the floor but off the floor, and then the hand is going to start rotating. If your left leg is forward, your left hand is rotating. So your left hand goes up to the ceiling and then through the armpit to the side. Good. With every repetition, we're going to feel hopefully a good stretch in the hip on both legs while we rotate the upper body. Then step back into a plank and repeat on the other side. Right leg is forward, right arm is rotating. Don't drop the back knee on the floor. It's a little bit too relaxing. Keep the knee off the floor. And then come back up for 8 easy lunges. If you want, make them stepping backwards, stepping forwards. All variations are good variations. It's just a warm up. So see what feels good. Good, and then back to the body rows, either with your suspension trainer or with the dumbbells. Some easy pulling to get the upper body going. In this variation, we're bending at the hip, but the back is straight, the legs are straight, there's no movement happening. And also here we can rotate the palm, pointing forward to get a little bit more biceps going. Good, and that should be it, at least. Well, are you kind of warm?
Yeah.
Good, let's put the workout on the screen so we can move forward. We're going to first show the movements and then let you go through it. We have only 3 rounds of 3 minutes, so we want to have the first round already be a working round, not a warm-up round. So we're going to start with 10 narrow squats, challenging in terms of mobility but also in terms of strength. We're going to squat with our feet in a narrow stance. If you can, the feet are actually going to be touching. From here, we're going to sit back slow and controlled down into the bottom of our squat and back up. That is challenging mobility-wise. If it isn't and you want to make it more challenging weight-wise, you can pick up some weight. Pick up 1 dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, anything goes. Dumbbell in the front rack position, and we're going to squat from here. Some weight might actually make it a little bit easier to do the squat because the weight is pushing you into a better position. So play around with it for now. See which variation of the narrow squat you want to go with. If you have to put your feet a little bit further out, that's also fine. Anything that allows you to squat with your feet parallel pointing forward, so we're taking away the ability to turn the toes out, that makes it more difficult. From here, we're going to go into a dumbbell row hammer curl variation. If you have 2 different weights, we're going to use a heavy dumbbell for a dumbbell row and then a light dumbbell for the hammer curl. For the row, you're going to put a chair, a bench, or anything like this. You're going to come into a support position with knee and hand on the bench, and with the free hand, we're going to pick up the dumbbell and we're going to perform 8 heavy pulls. We're going to retract the shoulders and then pull the elbow behind the body. Make sure the weight down is controlled, so don't just drop that dumbbell down. Really keep the tension on. Exactly, we don't want to have any movement in that upper body except for the elbow. Good. That's 8 on each side. If you then have 2 lighter dumbbells, we're going to follow up immediately with 8 hammer curls. We're going to stand up tall, engage the core, and then with our hands in a neutral grip, bring the head of the dumbbell towards the shoulder. What's important, we don't want to swing, so we don't want to use some momentum to get those dumbbells up. We also don't want to arch as we're leaning back. Typically you see that when it gets heavy. Exactly. We want to keep all of that out. If you have only 1 set of dumbbells, then make more repetitions on the row because that's easier, so we can either use more weight or more repetitions and then go into the hammer curl. Good. I think those are most of the variations. When it comes to the row and the curl, you can do this with a kettlebell, with a backpack. You can do this with any sort of weight that allows you to grab it. And pull, the curls might be a little bit more difficult, but you can also do a 2-arm curl with a kettlebell, for example. Plenty of variations depending on your object. We're going to go here today with 2 dumbbells. We're going to do 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Each round, plenty of time. 10 narrow squats, the 8 dumbbell rows, and the hammer curls isn't going to take the 3 minutes. So move slow, especially if you only have light weights. Take your time, move slow, make it burn. You good? Yes, then we're going to start round number 1 in 10 seconds. Maybe we can move the camera slightly. There we go. Get on to the narrow squats. It's still a squat, so the knees want to be on top of the toe. The hip goes back, and with a straight back, we're going to sit all the way down. You're going to notice it's very heavy for the quads. It's a nice way to develop quad strength and size with the narrow squat. Also great if you're struggling with mobility. It's a great ankle mobility drill to get used to having those knees really shifting straight over the toes. After 10, we're going to move on to 8 and 8 dumbbell rows. Grab a heavy dumbbell. You can come into a support position. If your right arm is moving, the left arm is on the bench, the left knee is on the bench. And then we make sure we're pulling slow and controlled, and we lower the dumbbell slow and controlled. If it gets heavy, you have the tendency to just drop it. Make sure you keep pulling in a straight line. And of course, we're keeping the elbow close. 8 on each side, then simply turn around. If your left hand was working, switch to the other one. Right hand is supporting. Very nice, very slow, and control the movement here. Not too heavy, but we can simply move slow. And then we're going to go immediately into the hammer curl, sort of a superset, get that biceps going. Dumbbells go to the side of the hip, and then in neutral grip, pull them all the way up. Keep your elbow close to the body, don't allow the elbow to move forward as we're coming up, as we're going through those 8 repetitions. Try to go for full extension at the bottom, don't cut the rep short. Little bit of bodybuilding on this beautiful Thursday. Good, that is round number 1. We've got about 40 seconds of rest, and then we're gonna do it again. The second round, especially the narrow squats, are gonna feel a little bit easier as we're getting warmer. Hopefully we can find a little bit more range of motion as the ankles and the hip get a little bit more loose. You're gonna do the same variation? 2 dumbbells?
Yes. Dumbbells. Heavier.
Oh yes, I can get you something heavy if you want.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Good. Round number 2 coming up, and there we go again. The feet are together and pointing forward. Don't allow the toes to point out in this variation. Makes it really difficult to squat. And then we're looking for that knee over toe position, so the knees are going straight forward as we're coming down. Sit down as low as you can in each rep. Take it slow. You can also hang out in the bottom for a half second. That really allows you to feel that position. Good. If you feel like your ankles are the thing that are holding you back most, you can put your heels on, for example, a book. So just step with your heels onto a small book. That elevates the heels and makes it easier to come into that squat. For now, we're going to move on to the dumbbell row. Try to find that mind-muscle connection between your brain and the lats. We want to use our lats to pull, so think about the elbow going back, not the hand coming close towards the chest. but really that elbow coming up and behind the body. After 8, we simply turn around, switch to the other side, and repeat. And then straight into the hammer curl, getting a nice bicep pump going. If in the last set 8 repetitions didn't get the bicep burning, just do a few more reps on this one, especially if the weight is light. Keep going until you feel a nice burn. You don't even need to count. Just go until you feel your biceps really working. And then we still have a half-minute rest before we do it all again. We're starting with a narrow squat, so your upper body has a little bit of rest before we have to do it again. Good, 5 seconds, getting ready for the last round. Again, 10 narrow squats. If you want, play around with your ankles, so maybe step onto a small book or something else you find. Just 1 centimeter makes a huge difference if you have stiff ankles. You see, there's no need to rush it, moving slow through every single repetition. And then we go back to the dumbbell row, 8 on each side. And then we're on to the last set of hammer curls. We've got a minute left if you want to make it spicy. Do a full minute of hammer curls. See if your bicep likes that. Or just stick to the 8 reps. Also fine, because we are not done after this. We still have some work to do. Good, very good. Now, if you're now thinking that was a lot of pulling and my biceps is really pumping, what about my triceps? Don't you worry, we've got you covered. For the workout, we're gonna have a rather light workout coming up. So for the finisher, it's gonna be a combination of body rows, rather light, farmer lunges and push-ups. Those push-ups you can play around with and make them as heavy as possible because we haven't done a lot of pressing. So if you want to get a nice triceps pump as well, then just go for heavy push-ups. For the movements, well, we've seen the body rows. Let's quickly talk about how to make them easier or lighter. If you have a TRX or gymnastic rings, the body row, the standard variation, you would have your feet right under where the TRX is mounted. You're going to lean back and from here come into your pull. If you want to make it lighter now, you're going to walk away from the mount, so you're going to walk backwards. The more upright you are, the easier it gets. If you want to make it harder, well, do the opposite, walk further down. The hardest variation is pretty much with your shoulders right underneath the mount of the TRX. If you don't have a TRX and you need to do any other sort of pulling, then simply use your chair, table, anything like this, but it should be a light pull. So make sure you use your feet as a support to make the pulling light. After that, we're going into the farmer lunges. You're going to pick up 2 dumbbells if possible. If you only have one, we'll just pick up one. We're going to pick them up in a pretty deadlift and do 20 alternating lunges. So we're going to step forward, alternating. If you have only one, you can also do it farmer. If you have a big backpack, it might be the easiest to just hold it in the front rack position. Same thing goes here with a dumbbell. After those, we're going into 20 push-ups. That's where we finally get the triceps involved. We're going to start in a good plank position. The shoulders, the hands are right underneath the shoulders, the feet are together. We're going to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the core, and then bend from the elbow, bring the chest towards the floor and press back up. If your push-ups look like this, perfect, you're good to go. If your push-ups don't look like this, if your push-ups are either snaky or they look like yoga, or you're reaching down with the nose instead of the chest, then please scale them down. To scale your push-ups, get some sort of elevation going. You can have a bench, you can have a chair, a table, anything goes, and then we replicate the same movement pattern. We start in a good plank and then we bend from the elbow. If you do the math, 20, 15, 10, 5, that is a total of 50 repetitions. That's 50 body rows, 50 lunges, and 50 push-ups. If you're thinking, I can do 50 push-ups rather quickly, good, then your variation is right. If you think 50 is a lot, then probably you want to go and elevate it a tiny bit higher. What we're going to do is a quick test round because we haven't done a lot of pressing so far. We're going to do 5, 5, and 5. So we're going to do that last round of the workout just to see what the combination feels like, okay? Shall we do 2 times 5? I think 2 times 5 is a good idea. Yes? So we're going to do 5, 5, 5 for 2 rounds because then you know what happens when you're coming back to the body rows, and if that felt good, then we're good to go. So, you got to go body row and push-ups on the floor? Yeah. Yes? Good. Then let's... 6? Oh, yes. Oh, geez. Yeah, it's not an even number. That's true. Yeah, make it 6. Okay. Otherwise, training imbalances. Good. Let's see how long that takes. I'm just going to quickly start the clock for 10 seconds to see how long those 10 reps each last. Small test round, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, in 2, 1, here we go. We don't need to sprint it here, we just want to do the repetitions to see how it feels. Obviously, this is the smallest round, this is the smallest set, so it's going to feel a little bit lighter now, but don't be intrigued. Okay, that's 5, 5, 5 done in just about 40 seconds. Good. Whew, good. If you're now thinking, oh my god, those push-ups got really hard in the second set of 5, you probably have a push-up variation that's a bit too heavy. If that was the case, simply elevate a tiny bit. We're looking for something quick today. Well, we're looking at least for quick movement. The whole workout got a time cap of 10 minutes, so 10-minute maximum. If you're still working in your test round, you might want to consider grabbing some lighter weights. If the first 2 rounds or the first rounds of 5 and 5 already take you 2-3 minutes. It's a bit too heavy for today.
I think the body rows are going to be harder because we did so much pulling.
A lot of pulling.
So the push-ups were kind of easy now, but the rowing was hard. So maybe they should consider going lighter on the body rows. And
start breaking early. A set of 20, you don't need to do the first 20 repetitions unbroken. Just do 5, shake it out, do 5, shake it out. If the movement feels heavy, be strategic about it. The lunges are probably the easiest part, I would be guessing. So the lunges are there for you to relax your upper body and relax the arms because they work a lot today.
Yeah.
Good. We should give you another 30 seconds rest before we then get going. Good. The clock's going to be up here, so you don't need to set your own, but if you want, of course, feel free. Then afterwards, we would love to see your scores in the comments, what sort of weights you used and how long the whole thing took you. The race is on. Let's see if anybody can move as quick as Kat. I'm curious.
So much nervousness now.
Yes, but no pressure, no pressure. Good, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start in 10 seconds. 20 body row, 20 lunges, 20 push-up into 15, 15, 15, 10 and 5 in 2, 1. Here we go. We're moving fast and pretty. That's the big secret. Don't let the speed compromise your form.
This is a preview file.
But don't let the focus of form take away your speed. Kat breaking early here, taking a small break before she continues the pulling. Good. Done with the first set of 20. The number 20 you can break into 8, 6 and 6, maybe 7, 7, 6. If you want to break it into 3 sets, of course you can break it into 4 sets of 5. The smaller the set, the less fatigue you get, but also the longer it takes you. So make sure you keep your rest short, just enough time to shake it out and then move on. I don't think you will need rest on the lunges, so when you're at the lunges, just move. No reason to rest here. And we're already on to the push-ups here. No, we're not speeding this video up. This is actually the push-up speed of Kat. Sorry. But try to keep up with that speed. See if you can move that quickly through your push-ups. That was a quick set of 20. 2 minutes on the clock. This workout isn't going to be so much heavy breathing, it's going to be mostly strength, endurance and the willingness to do another rep. Be smart about your breaks and keep them short. Very good. Those lunges are still looking the same as in the beginning, as we are already into the round of 15 push-ups here. Very nice example of push-ups. You can see the chest is going to the floor, the nose is not, the hip is not, the chest comes down, the rest of the body stays in a straight line. Good. Done with the round of 20 and 15. That was the majority of work. Once you're down to the round of 10, you did 35 repetitions of each movement. You only have to do 15 more. As we are approaching the 5-minute mark here. Definitely not running the risk of getting hit by the time cap. But the pulling seems to be getting heavy. You can tell we have done quite some pulling work already today. After the dumbbell row and the ham curl. Those arms don't really want to pull anymore. 5.5 minutes on the clock. As we're finishing up the round of 10. Push-ups as tricky as they were in the beginning. Bodies in a straight line. No snaking, no yoga. I've been going unbroken in the last set. On to the round of 5. That is in theory the easiest one. It's just 5. But with all the work we did before, obviously those last 5 are the hardest. Have taken a strategic break just before going into that set of 5. And there we are, 6 minutes 50 here for Kat. If you're curious, she was using 2 7-kilo dumbbells for her lunges and the body rows in a heavy variation and the push-ups on the floor. So if you want to beat that score, 650 at 2 light dumbbells. Very good. If you're working at home, keep it going. You're probably already in the round of 10 and 5. Those are the heavy rounds, but don't allow yourself to slow down. Keep it going, you know we are watching. How was that?
A lot of pulling.
A lot of pulling today. Oh, we have to even out the amount of push-ups we're doing over the last couple of weeks and probably over the next couple of weeks. So,
Yeah,
if you do a lot of pressing, never forget to do the pulling. Don joining us today, very good.
and let's see, I saw in the beginning Cindy and Eric, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see their scores. Who else?
Martin probably going to go
Martin.
heavy again with a 22.5 kilo dumbbell
Very nice.
herself. Curious to see what the community is going to put out here in scores. We've got a little bit more than 90 seconds on the clock to finish your workout.
Nice, Karin. Very good, Karin and Bob.
I hope she didn't do the lunges with Bob.
628, 2 times 15. Was it Eric?
I think it was Martin.
Martin?
2 times 15, that's a heavy lunge with 50 repetitions. You're going to feel your legs tomorrow.
Yeah. That's very good.
10. We've got 1 more minute to go.
Only because of the second. My arms grew 3 centimeters bigger just now. 18 from
Also a very quick time as we're approaching the last 30 seconds. I think we've been a little bit too generous today with our 10-minute time cap. I think, Peter, you're the only one working out with a sandbag continuously.
Very good
25 kilo sandbag, you're gonna get plenty strong. Last 10 seconds.
Great, Peter. Also, Cindy commented less than 7 minutes, 6:58. Great work, Cindy, very good.
So I think we've been a bit too generous with that time cap approaching
well.
now. So, assuming everybody is done by now, we're going to jump straight into the stretching. I guess the upper body has worked a lot.
Yes.
So we're going to do some stretching up there.
Okay.
Oh, very good, Joost.
How much?
He didn't say it, but it was his second
And
workout
Karin,
already.
Karin 7:30. Nice, very good. Ooh, okay. So guys, let's do a little bit of stretching, shoulders, biceps, triceps. First, if you have the chair or the couch that you used previously, Damaris 2, Joost, very nice, great. Nice, many people joined today, that's very good. In the strength part, always everyone should join because it's just strength. You can never be too strong. So for the stretching, you should place your hands exactly in the same line as your shoulders, and you're going to put the head inside the shoulders, so through the shoulders, but without arching your lower back. So you don't want to see an arch, but you do want to have a stiff lower back. This is a stretching for the shoulders, and of course chest is opening too. So we're going to stay in this position. Try to inhale, exhale slowly, bringing the chest towards the floor. So putting the head even more low through the shoulders. Here it gets easier if you inhale deeply and exhale. While you are exhaling, the chest is going towards the floor. Ten more seconds in this position. And slowly you can relax a little bit, shake your arms. Now we're not going to need the chair anymore, so we're going to work on the ground. You can kneel down and sit down on the heel so that at the same time you have a stretching on your quads, and you're just going to grab your shoulder, bring the arm straight towards the chest and keep pulling it close to your body. Keep the elbow straight. And now the same arm is going to go up, and then you're going to try to reach your shoulder blade, the same shoulder blade, and then you can also help with your left arm by pressing the elbow down, gently moving. It's just the stretching cool down part, but keep trying to reach this shoulder blade. And now the same arm is going to go towards your lower back. So the palm is going to face on the opposite side, and you can bring the elbow forward while maintaining the hand on the lower back. We're just gently pulling forward the elbow so that we get a stretch on the shoulder as well in the front side. And slowly release your elbow, and we're going to do the same thing with the other arm. So grab your left arm straight, pull it towards your chest, maintain the elbow straight and pull hard. And now you can bring your left arm straight next to your ear and bend the elbow, try to reach your shoulder blades, and also you can help with the opposite arm. So press gently your elbow down. A few more seconds staying in this position. And slowly now with the same arm you can bring it to in the lower back, touching the lower back. The palm is facing on the other side, not towards your body, and gently grab your elbow and pull it gently forward. Don't pull it too much, this shouldn't hurt. Just gently pull. And slowly release your elbow. Now we're going to stand into the plank position, go into the plank position and just put your head through the shoulders again. Try also to have the heels grounded. Straight arms, do not bend the elbows. Keep pressing the head towards your body. Slowly we can come again into the plank position and then into the cobra. Look towards the ceiling, your lower back is arched, the hands close to your body. And for the last part, we are going into the child pose. So now you can sit again down on your heels and place the head through the shoulders once again and try to relax. Straight arms in front of you. The birds are having a party. Now slowly you can bring your toes, your feet towards your hands. And slowly you can bring your upper body back. And I think that was it for today. So we're going to check also the comments because I was doing the stretching and I didn't see all of the scores. Let's see your time and what weight you used. And that was it.
I think so. I think we're done. Good. Same procedure as every time. We're going to close with a triple clap in 1, 2, 3. Enjoy your evening.